up, guys? Tyler here, and this is the Above Average Movies official MCU in review. To my right, Jade, you all know her. To my left, Dina, awesome superhero fan, awesome friend, so of course we had to have her here for the video. So, for the past, it's been quite a few weeks, since January, we've been watching an MCU movie a week pretty much, getting caught up for Infinity War, and we are like 4 days away from Infinity War. So, it's about time we get an official list of where we rank these movies, why we rank them in this order, and then we can watch them go all die next week. So, we're going to go lowest to highest, you know, our least favorite to our most favorite. We'll discuss it, we'll fight for it, and then at the end, there'll be only one victor, and it'll be my list, of course. So,
yeah, I got that.
So who wants to start?
You.
Me?
Yeah.
Should we just start from the bottom?
Yeah, just say your bottom. Yeah.
Okay, so my least favorite number 18?
Mm-hmm.
Is Thor.
That's my.
Well, don't say it.
I think I need to say it.
Is it your least favorite?
It's not my least favorite, but it's close.
I literally fell asleep when we were rewatching this.
To be fair, you were up really late.
But it's a boring movie. It's yes, we get introduced to Thor. We get introduced to Hawkeye, which is kind of cool. But Loki is an okay villain in this one, but not really a good villain. I think the fact that I fell asleep.
I think Dina has things
enough.
to say.
No, it's okay.
Is that not close to your bottom?
It is close to my bottom, but it's not last. I have a last that's worse than Thor.
Okay.
It wasn't my last until we rewatched it. So go ahead.
So
Who wants
I
to go
think
next?
I think it should be clear. None of us have seen each other's lists, but when Dina saw me grouping mine into like top-ish, low-ish, she saw that Thor was in the bottom and she got really offended. But now she's saying that Thor was in the bottom of hers. So I think I won in this one. No,
What's your number 18?
and my number 18 is Doctor Strange.
Doctor Strange.
Wow.
Wow.
I think you're not cutting him enough slack.
Why would I cut slack for judging him?
Why is it your 18?
Because okay, so my negative comment about Thor is that they just kind of like threw us in magic all of a sudden without giving us a heads up, and so like we're fans of like the way that they make it seem realistic and the way that they make it seem like any person really could have powers. They make it sound like it almost could be scientific, and then they throw in Thor and all these like weird wizardy kind of stuff and magic. Kind of same thing with Doctor Strange, is they kind of like threw it at us but like tried to make it seem real, and it didn't seem real. It seemed cartoony, and I like cartoons, but I didn't like it. Also, I love Benedict Cumberbatch, but he was boring. He wasn't funny. He was monotone the whole time. He was really judgmental and didn't really fix that. I mean, he kind of did, but not really. He was boring. That's my opinion.
He was a jerk.
Yeah.
To what's her face?
Rachel McAdams.
Yeah, her.
And I know they can't really change it, but because she was the girl on the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes, and he's Sherlock Holmes on the other one, that messed with my head a little bit. It made it like so I couldn't get all the way in the movie.
I don't think he's the worst. I don't think he should qualify as the worst.
No, he's not the worst.
Well, I gotta hear your worst now.
Okay, well, my worst is Hulk. Oh my gosh, I cannot. Like, Hulk, there's just... You want to talk about falling asleep? Every time I watched that movie, I fell asleep. Like, even in the theaters, like, I was like, all 3 renditions or however many they did, I was like, wow, this is just a horrible movie. Honestly, I didn't even know that they were trying to, like, do this whole huge Marvel Universe thing when Hulk came out. I just thought it was another sucky movie. And then, like, they were...
I don't think they were doing it yet.
Well, they kind of were, because the cameo of Tony Stark.
Yeah, in the end, yeah.
So they kind of were, but the pieces weren't in place yet, because Disney didn't even own Marvel at that time. Universal still owned them. So, but Hulk was my 18 until I rewatched Thor.
I just feel like there's more. I mean, it may just be because I have a celebrity crush on Chris Hemsworth, but I just feel like there's more entertaining me in Thor than there is in Hulk.
Okay.
Chris.
I have Hulk close to my bottom, and the reason why is because I don't feel like he's a hero. I feel like he's just a dude who's struggling with some weird sickness, kind of thing. Like, they never make me feel like I should root for him. The first time I've ever rooted for Hulk, my whole life was on Avengers, and in cartoons and in merchandise and in other movies and stuff. I've never felt like I should root for him. He doesn't feel like a hero or a villain. He just feels like a guy.
Well, and Hulk, I never felt like Hulk even belonged in the universe that they were creating up until Avengers. You know, up until then I was like, Hulk, who's Hulk? You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even associate the Hulk movie with the other ones that they had created.
Yeah.
So, Hulk is my 17. The reason I put it above Thor is because of the universe building. When I look at the big picture, I think the cameo with Tony Stark at the end does more for the MCU than anything Thor does. That's why it's barely above Thor, but it is above Thor. So
he shows up for like a minute, and Thor is literally one of the main Avengers.
And but any movie that Robert Downey Jr.'s in is gonna be good, even if it's for a second.
Okay, Hulk is my number 17, but so I have Doctor Strange, then Hulk. What's your?
Thor.
And
see, we're all basically on the same page here.
Hulk and Thor.
And you had
Thor
and
Hulk.
Yeah. And I had Doctor Strange and Hulk. I have Thor next. Because I disagree about the universe building. I think Thor is more important than Hulk is. Hulk literally disappears at the end of a battle and nobody chases him down.
You're jumping way ahead of the list here.
The point is, he could disappear and it would be okay. Thor couldn't disappear and it wouldn't be okay.
I mean, I would notice if Thor was gone.
I think I would notice if Hulk was gone more than if Thor was gone.
In the beginning, I wouldn't have.
He just has his problems.
In the beginning, I'd have been like, yeah, whatever, who cares? But now, after the first Avengers, I, miss Hulk. I miss him when he's not there.
Yeah.
All right.
Hulk needed to be in Civil War, but he was busy in space.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's 18, 17. So my 16 is Thor the Dark World.
That's 2, right?
That's Thor 2.
Yeah, that's my 15.
So the reason it's my 16 is, 1, the villain is so incredibly boring. The Dark Elves, or whatever they are. They're super, super boring. They don't really have a real motivation for what they're trying to do besides just destroy the universe. And I didn't like it.
I like that one more than the original Thor because of the space portal thingies. I thought that was really entertaining.
Well,
but you're right, the villains.
It is funnier, and there's a better chemistry between Loki and Thor in this one than in the first one because they've done a couple movies together now.
Yeah. What do you think? What's yours? What number are we on?
16.
Did you already say yours?
Yeah, 16.
Yeah, I think so. 18, 17, 16. Thor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, mine is Doctor Strange.
Oh.
Yeah.
So we all have the same bottom 4 or 5.
Doctor Strange way higher up than you guys.
No.
Okay. About the same 4 or 5.
When we first went to go see Doctor Strange, I was like, wow, I didn't even feel like it was a Marvel movie until they mention, oh, the Avengers protect the Earth and we protect whatever the
Yeah.
I forget what he said, but you know what I mean.
We'll like it more later.
It's not until then where I'm like, oh yeah, this is a Marvel movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he kind of how you said, the actor his character is just so monotone and so and there's no character in there that ties into the rest. It's all of us you're just this new character. You're learning. You know what I mean? It just nothing connects up until the very end. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would put him.
But
Ant-Man's
he will.
No.
He will play a big part in Infinity War.
I was gonna say Ant-Man's like that, but he goes to the Avengers base or whatever. I think that we'll like him more once we see him more in action. But right now he's really boring.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they kind of did say that in Doctor Strange, though. They said, the Avengers save Earth, they save everything else. So,
Yeah.
in a way, it kind of connects, but I get it, though. I
Yeah.
get it. Why? Alright, so what's next? 15?
Yeah.
Mhm.
My 15 was Thor 2. I said that
Yeah,
a minute ago.
I was gonna say mine was Thor 2. Thor Dark World is right above Doctor Strange. And it's sad. It's sad because it's like I don't want to put Thor down there, but it's just honestly, dude, I'm like, wow, it's just
The character's good, the movie's bad.
Yeah.
Well, that movie had a lot of development problems as well. Like, I think it lost a director, and they couldn't get a script for a while, and it had a lot of development problems. But so did Ant-Man, and Ant-Man's pretty high up there.
I like Ant-Man pretty well.
So my 15 is Iron Man 2. And the original Iron Man is one of my top favorite Marvel movies, but Iron Man 2, it's good, but it was a huge step down from the original. Like, the original was like the first Marvel movie, or the first MCU movie, and then 2, we know Tony as a character, but I didn't really like I'm blanking on his name, the Russian dude.
Oh,
I don't know his name.
yeah, the actor.
Yeah.
He has like it makes me think of a wrestler.
He always wants his bird. He can't ever find his bird.
What is
And-
that?
Good.
Yeah, but
The Hammer guy's boring too.
yeah, something Hammer. What's his name? Someone Hammer. Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
That sounds
Yeah, just.
But
I think.
I actually like him more than the bird dude, just because the bird dude's doing it because Tony Stark killed his dad or whatever, but Hammer's doing it because he wants to be better than Tony Stark. So I get that.
I actually I agree. Iron Man 2 is.
Not to say it's a bad movie. None of these movies are bad
No.
movies, but
Oh, that scared me. I was like,
but when you have to, what are you doing?
Making sure it's still recording. I would hate for us to do all this and be wrong.
Of course it's recording. We're doing it live, people. So that's my 15. Would be Iron Man 2.
My 15 was Thor 2. I already said that.
Thor 2. 15.
Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2.
I have that as my 14. Iron
Okay.
Man 2. And I think right now we're kind of doing the same thing, but just a little staggered by one movie stepping in. One movie we disagree on.
My 14. You guys are gonna like.
Hmm.
Captain America.
That's my 14.
Oh, okay.
That's my 14. The first Captain America.
Oh my gosh.
Like, it's not that Captain America was like bad, because when it came out, I was like, wow, that's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But as far as when you compare it to all the other ones, I was like, yeah, I wouldn't care to watch Captain America. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'd be like, man, let's watch something else.
It's cool as an origin story.
Yeah.
But that's all it's good for is an
Yeah.
origin story. If I want to watch Captain America, I'm gonna watch Winter Soldier or Civil War.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yep. I'll watch one of the like. The
I'll take it
sequels.
personal offense.
Yeah, I'll watch one of the sequels. I won't watch the first one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's good. But the ending with Red Skull is weird. Like, he's out there somewhere. We just don't know where he is.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I mean, you could debate the ending. Cap could have easily landed that plane somewhere. But, yeah, so that's it. That's why
And it's a little too slow for me in the beginning. I think because I already know, like I said, like I already know the other ones, and I already know what kind of a pivotal role he plays within. The beginning is kind of slow. I'm like, okay, I get it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I watched Agent Carter, the show, and you two didn't, right?
no.
I watched
I
a few episodes
think
and gave up on
I
it.
already loved the movie. Like, it was already my number one for most of the time the MCU was happening. But I think that show kind of reinforced its importance to me. Because Agent Carter, that's her origin story too. So, I mean, kind of. But, so it wasn't just his origin story, it was hers. So it kind of has like a dual importance in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that changes my opinion from your guys'.
Yeah, I mean, I like Agent Carter. She's really cool
Yeah.
in it, but she,
Yeah.
I guess Agent Carter would probably, but she's just kind of a side character in this movie for me.
Oh, and Howard Stark too. He's in that show, so it's an origin story for him also.
Yeah.
Hey, remember that joke? Hey, how much does it cost to kill Tony's family? Just $1.
That's jacked up.
You told me I was all smiling, waiting for it to be funny. I was like, oh. Okay, moving on. Well, 18, 17,
14?
15, 14. 14, I had Iron Man 2. So
Iron
mine
Man
is
2.
just one higher than yours.
For same reasons?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it was lame. It was just boring.
Yeah.
Like, when it first came out, I went and saw it in theaters, and a bunch of people did too, and they all, like, from a different theater, so when we met back up, they said, that was way better than the first one, and I was like,
No,
I
first one's,
totally disagree.
First one's way
And
better.
I kind of just been keeping that to myself since then, like, maybe I'm wrong. So every time I watch it, I'm like, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? It was boring. From the very beginning, when they're at, like, the expo thing, I was already bored.
Yeah.
Not, like, as bored as Doctor Strange, but bored.
Yeah.
As compared to number 1. So we're on 13?
14 still,
Oh, okay.
right? Did you do
Oh
14?
no, I did. Captain America was my 14.
Oh, wait.
Right?
Oh yeah, mine as well. So 13 then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Alright, mine is Avengers Age of Ultron.
Oh no way! Mine's the first Avengers.
Okay, we're like one off on all of them. For me, that's 12. We're on 13.
You like Ultron more than the original Avengers? What the heck?
Yeah.
I'm all
And
about
I think it's mainly because Age of Ultron, you have like more of the Marvel universe established, like War Machine, you know what I mean, and like Hawkeye, and you know what I mean, like you have more of them established, and the first Avengers is kind of like there's not enough for me. Like there's not enough meat in there for me. That makes sense?
Getting greedy.
Yeah, the original Avengers, it's like the first 4 years or something. It all led up to that. That's the first time we see them all together.
But I feel like it's the training wheels to the other ones. Like right now, if you were to tell me, hey, which one would you rather watch, the first Avengers or Age of Ultron? I'd be like, oh, Age of Ultron. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like for me, Avengers and Captain America is kind of like in the same category, where it's like, where it's like the first, and you're like, yeah, okay, I've seen it once, I get it, move on. Like there's not enough.
See, I like in original Avengers, Loki as a villain, 1,000 times better than Ultron as a villain.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Really?
I don't like Ultron. I like I don't like Ultron's motives, I guess. I like James Spader voicing him. I thought that Ultron has cool moments, that almost like horror movie-esque moments, like jump scares and stuff. But I would rather have Loki, Avengers Loki, than Ultron as a villain.
Ultron, I don't think so, because I like the banter of Ultron. You know what I mean? I like how he kind of makes everyone feel like less than. You know what I mean? And I like how, and even like his banter with Iron Man. You know, like I like all that. You know, and then obviously for me, the action scenes in Ultron are way more entertaining than the first Avengers, because just the first action scene alone, when they're in like they're like in the snow and they're fighting, and you see
when they're getting
Yeah,
Loki's
like-
staff.
yeah, for me there's just way more in Ultron, which makes it
Ultron does have some really funny moments. I love it when they're all trying to lift the hammer, and then later on when Vision just picks it up like it's nothing.
mm-hmm.
But I don't like... I'm not a huge fan of the guy who died. What's his name? Quicksilver?
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
don't like him.
Well, I think that's
So-
why they got rid of him in the...
Yeah.
They introduced him and they got rid of him in the
Yeah.
first... You know what I mean? Like...
He was a crutch.
Yeah.
He was the reason that Scarlet Witch became an Avenger.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, like all the Disney characters have dead parents because it motivates them to become who they are. It's the same thing with him. I think he's her motivation. But I had Ultron as, what are we on? We're on 13,
We're on
but I had him
13,
I had that movie as my 12th. Same reasons-ish. I saw something online, because I appreciated it for what it was. Like, thank you for giving me more content. I'm happy with that. But I saw something online that said that Civil War is Marvel's apology for giving us Ultron. And once I read that, I was like, that is exactly the truth. That's how I feel in my bones. Like,
I do think Civil War is technically on my list better than Ultron
Yeah.
for my list, but I don't think it's you don't need an apology. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do an apology movie, then you need to focus on the Hulk.
We're sorry. We're sorry that wasn't our best. Here's our best. Here's another Avengers, but we're not going to call it Avengers. That's kind of what I was reading it as. So it's like, I think it has cool Marvel things, but they kind of maybe we're skating by on we know we're good, so we can just give you anything and it'll be good. You know, just throw in our jokes and our action, and you'll be happy because it's more content, not because it's our best. You know. My 13 is Iron Man 3.
Oh.
Because
I like Iron Man 3.
I like Iron Man 3 too.
The not the main fiery dude, but his like sidekicks that all like explode randomly. Those are weird. I like the scenes with Tony and Harley, and I like when Pepper's, you know,
Harley?
the kid.
Oh,
I like Pepper
Harley
at the
Quinn.
end. I like Pepper at the end, but I don't like the villain sidekick people. The people that just randomly combust. Those are weird. And the lady, they're just ugly, and I don't like them.
See, I'm in the minority here, but I love what they did with the Mandarin in this movie. And I know a lot of people hate it because that's not comic accurate, but I like it because it gave... Iron Man 3 is, in general, a pretty dark movie, but it gave it, like, a few moments of humor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny. I mean, it's not at the bottom of the list.
Well,
but it's
and
not
I
at the
like
top
how
either.
that's probably like one of the movie. I mean, probably besides the first Iron Man, where Tony Stark is like the most selfless.
Yeah,
You know
for
what
sure.
I mean?
Yeah.
But,
And it's kind of where they start putting him in like a father figure role,
Mhm.
or like a protector kind of thing, and it's totally wrong franchise, but on Justice League, you guys didn't like Batman because he was becoming father figure-y. I liked that because it reminded me of Tony Stark.
not even fun. He was just not.
Yeah.
Justice League, bottom of my DC in review list.
So that like come to me for wisdom, and I'm looking over you and I'm protecting you. That's what I'm liking about where they're bringing Tony Stark, is like that he's kind of the developing the next generation, and that's when that started, is when he was with Harley.
All right, my number 12 would be Doctor Strange.
You're saying it's better than 12 other Marvel movies.
No, I'm saying it's better than 6 other Marvel movies.
Like I said. Sorry, the number 12 just didn't get past me.
Awesome. When I look at my list, I would rather watch it over Ultron, rather watch it over Captain America, definitely over the Thor movies, and over Iron Man 2 and Hulk. I think it, as a bigger MCU movie, it doesn't connect very well, but as like just a sit-down action movie, I like it.
I don't think there's any action. I think there's like evasion.
I like the cape. I like the ending. You don't expect the ending. You don't expect him to die over and over and over again trying to bargain.
I just feel like they.
Hey, spoilers, by the way.
Yes. Go watch the MCU, people.
Yeah, I disagree. I feel like I said earlier, it just doesn't feel like it belongs. And as far as like them being funny in it or trying to be funny, I feel like they tried too hard. You know what I mean? Like, it's just you know what I mean? Like, you're not funny. Which I kind of
I
feel
can't
bad.
remember any funny parts.
Well, like the
I like
cape,
the-
and like when he's
The
talking
cape
to like
or
the dude from keeps the books or whatever,
About
about
Beyonce.
Beyonce and all that.
and then
you
later
laugh?
he's listening to
No, that's
Beyonce.
what I'm saying. Like I feel
Or,
like
or
there were
even like when he first gets there and the guy hands him the code.
Okay, that
and,
part I laughed.
And then he's like, "It's the Wi-Fi password. We're not animals." Like there's small funny moments in it.
I feel like that is like them trying to be funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think I feel bad because like they were like after Guardians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Guardians was like hilarious. It was like, you know, one of the funniest Marvel movies since like to that date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, you're not Guardians. You know what I mean? Like,
True.
You're not my real dad.
don't try to be funny. You know what I mean?
Quit
Like,
trying to be Guardians.
so.
But hopefully, in Infinity War, he works with Tony pretty well.
Okay, so we're on 12. That was your 12. What's your 12?
That was my 13. Did you do your 13?
Yeah, 13 for me was Iron Man 3, remember?
Oh, yeah.
Mine was Avengers.
Oh, okay.
And when you said Ultron was your 13, I said Ultron was my 12, so I've already said my 12.
Oh, okay. So my 12 at that point was Iron Man 3. I really like Iron Man 3. It is a dark movie. I like how there's direct consequences from the movie before. I like that because of Avengers, Tony is jacked up in this movie. I do like that we see Tony stepping into that father figure, that he steps into a lot more with Peter eventually, but I like it. I think it's a good Iron Man movie. I like I said, I like the Mandarin part. I don't like the Pepper part though. I think that is weird.
Yeah,
I thought it was entertaining. It was like giving her moment, I guess.
well, and they leave it hanging dry.
Yeah.
I'm like, what just happened?
So
Well, he just says he fixed it. I think it was to give her moment, and because people were probably rallying for more feminine
but I just
parts.
I don't
and
think
so they're giving.
I don't think
the
that
character.
moment was needed. She could have had many other moments without giving her crazy backflipping powers.
Yeah.
She just doesn't fit the
I think.
No.
Yeah. Yeah, it was entertaining for that moment. I wouldn't want it as a permanent thing, but I do like what you said about his anxiety issues and stuff like that. I like, not like I want people to have anxiety, but I like that part. I guess there's a lot of like deeper things that make that story more entertaining the more you think about it because of that.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
So my number 12 is Winter Soldier.
What?
Yeah.
You're wrong.
I know that's it.
Oh my goodness.
What do you have
No.
against Cap? Huh?
Like, no, nothing. Honestly, it's just like for me. Like I said, if I'm thinking about entertainment wise, what I found entertaining, I would rather watch a bunch of other movies over Winter Soldier.
Oh my.
But I would rather watch
Goodness.
Winter Soldier than the Avengers and the First Captain. Than, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
but I just when I think about all the other movies that are above Winter Soldier for me, I would rather watch them than Winter Soldier, honestly. And like I said, it's not anything against it. It is a good movie, but it's just for me. I'm like, I'd rather watch this one rather than this one. You know what I mean?
That's what we're different people.
It's okay.
Okay. What are we on?
No, well, that was my 12.
That was her 12.
That was
so
your 12.
11.
All right, 11. I have Iron Man 1. I have nothing against Iron Man 1. It just happened to fall under the others. But I loved Iron Man 1. I just really love all of the MCU.
It's my 11 as well.
My 11 is Iron Man 2. Or
Iron Man 2?
Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3.
Okay.
I'm losing track of all the numbers.
Yes. Well, I didn't number mine. Mine was
Iron
just
Man
listed.
3.
Yeah.
Well, I put it at 11 because I think it's better than the other two Iron Man movies. It started the MCU, and I think it's a great origin story. You see a lot of character development with Tony. Things I don't like about it, I'm not a huge fan of the villain. I think he just goes from Tony's friend to super crazy like instantly, and that's kind of weird.
I think it was showing that he was always super crazy. He's
Yeah,
been doing that behind his
I
back
guess
for years.
so, but
He just happened to see it all of a sudden because he had his eyes open by being captured.
and then was Iron Man 1 didn't introduce Black Widow, right? That was 2.
Those two.
But the scene at the end with Nick Fury, when all of a sudden we realize everything's going to be connected, that's why I like Iron Man 1. Because that was the first post-credit scene. Post-credit scene weren't even really a thing in movies until the MCU started it.
Mm-hmm.
And then we see Nick Fury, and everyone goes crazy. And then 10 years later, we're here.
So Iron Man 3 this is 11, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Iron Man 3 is my 11, and then Iron Man 1 is my 10.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they're pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have it as my 11. I don't think that the villain came out of nowhere. I think it was him realizing it for the first time that it's been that way always. Also, I don't think he was just crazy. I think his motivation was that he's been in control, and all of a sudden someone's trying to take that control from him. So he was already being bad, and he's been the villain for, 20, 30 years, you know? He just finally got caught. That's what drove him crazy. He's like, you're trying to take my power away? I've been in charge this whole time, and now you're trying to take it away? I think that is a totally reasonable villain. But you guys like villains more than I do. I like heroes more. I think that was a good hero movie.
You can't have a hero without a villain.
I know.
Well, yeah, and
you guys appreciate the
villain makes the hero cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, who's Luke Skywalker without Darth Vader?
Who's
someone no one cares about.
Who is Batman without the Joker?
Yep.
Yeah.
Who's Superman without Kryptonite?
I guess for me, it's like the villain shows what the hero's capable of, but then after that they beat them and move on. But like the villains that just stick around, I'm like, okay, so obviously I have to deal with you some more. But I like them to be beat and move on to a new villain. And then, you know?
Yeah. But I like the villains. The villains make the movie. If there weren't the villains, the Avengers would be sitting around eating shawarma all day.
That's good. I'm just kidding. I actually don't know if it's good.
So what is it, 10?
Yeah.
Number 10. My number 10, Ant-Man.
Me too.
That's my 9.
No, that's my 9 is Ant-Man, yeah. Because my 10 was Iron Man.
Yeah.
Number 10 was my Iron Man.
And so, yeah. So my 10's Ant-Man. I really like Ant-Man. I think it's hilarious. I love the... I'm blanking on all their names. The Mexican dude who does, talks about everything super fast.
Yeah.
I love him.
Yeah.
I wish they had more of him in the movie because he only had the 2 scenes. I think, the villain is pretty good, Cross. And I think Paul Rudd was great as Ant-Man. This movie, another movie that had some serious production issues, but this one, they pulled it out.
Yeah, I would have never thought.
And Ant-Man, who heard of Ant-Man before this movie?
Honestly, when I heard they were doing Ant-Man, I was like,
yeah.
Why? You know what I mean?
I had zero expectations for this movie and loved it.
Yep. Me too.
I mean, it's funny.
His daughter's the best.
Yeah, his daughter's super cute.
She's cute.
And then,
yeah, it's funny with, the way that they use the big and small stuff, like when they're in the briefcase and the phone, Siri hears them, and, Thomas
or even,
the Train.
Thomas the Train, or even when you see him...
They use their medium well.
When you see him grow super small and, it takes him, forever to get across the bathtub, or...
Yeah.
It's really creative how they use that.
I have that as my 9, so I agree with most of what you're saying. I maybe put it higher just because of the ones we disagree on, but I think we basically agree on that one. I am a little bit bothered by the logic of it, because they said that he gains mass and everything, but he can stand on someone's shoulder and they're not like, oh, That bothers me a little bit. It kind of pulls me from the movie just a teeny bit.
Yeah, but
you can't say that that's his power and then that not happen throughout the movie.
It's a superhero movie. You just gotta let it go.
It's just inconsistent. That just a little bit bothers me, but then I'm like, watching a movie, so it's not real anyway.
Yeah, you're watching a movie about shrinks.
Yeah. Hey, it could be possible. So, they spend so much time, explaining the science of it, and then they don't even follow the science of it. That bothers me just a teeny bit.
Okay, well, my 9 is Ant-Man too, and so what's your 9?
My 9 is Black Panther.
No. I haven't said my 10 before we go into that. My 10.
That was my reaction. Your reaction to Winter Soldier is my reaction to Black Panther. I was
What's your 10?
My 10 is Spider-Man.
What?
Jane, we were okay.
Spider-Man.
I liked it a lot, and the first time I loved it. But when we watched it again, yesterday or the day before, I was like, I was doing chores and stuff, and I didn't feel like I was missing too much. The second time was like
Spider-Man Homecoming redeemed all the Spider-Mans.
It did for Spider-Man, but we're not talking about Spider-Man. We're talking about MCU.
But Tom Holland is the perfect Spider-Man. He's funny. How can you? How is it you're 9?
I'm not saying
you
it's
10?
bad. I'm just saying others are better.
No,
we're
I
just
have
talking
Spider-Man
about
pretty up
entertainment
there.
value. As far as Spider-Mans go, absolutely the best for sure. 100 times over.
I mean,
but as far as MCU, I would just rather watch another movie.
You know what? Here's where I'm my bug with that. You haven't said Captain America yet, and the fact that you think the first Captain America is better
I'm
than
more
Spider-Man.
entertained by Captain America than I am by Spidey.
No
but
way.
What about the whole beginning with his making his YouTube video and everything? That's hilarious.
Yeah,
Or
it is.
or when he's running around the
I'm not
hotel and he's
saying
like,
it's a
what?
bad movie.
There's more to
It's
this
just
hotel room?
others are better.
Oh my
Oh, man.
gosh.
Okay, 9. Yelling at me. Just kidding.
Man, that Spider-Man is way far up on my list. Okay, so
me too.
my 9 is Black Panther.
I can't believe that either. Oh my gosh.
I've only seen it once. I saw it one time in the theaters. I like it. I really like Michael B. Jordan as the villain. I think he's the best villain the MCU has. But it's I don't know. I'm not excited to see it again. Like, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I would rather watch any of these other movies on the rest of my list than Black Panther
No
again.
way. I saw Black Panther like multiple times in theaters.
I want to see it multiple times. I disagree with you, and she disagrees with you, so you're wrong.
Well, I said my 9 was Ant-Man.
Yeah, mine too.
Okay.
But, okay, so here I'll talk a little bit more about Black Panther.
Okay.
Like I said, I like Killmonger, but I just, like, the story's awesome of him becoming king and everything, but it's like, I feel like some of the fight scenes, like the fight scene at the end, was kind of boring with them on the train or whatever thing they were on. I don't know. Like,
Yeah, a little bit.
and then, I guess I was just expecting more out of it. It's a good movie, but it's fine. It's my 9.
As we're getting higher, I'm starting to realize, like, the ones that I picked as higher ones, it's because every time I watch the movie, I find something new. And so, like, with just these few, like, Spidey and Ant-Man, like, I just barely catch maybe something new every once in a while. But the higher we go, the more things I catch each time. And so with Black Panther, we've only seen it once, but every time I think about it, I find something new. I'm like, ooh, I should notice that this time around.
I think it was kind of like what you said about Doctor Strange. Like, it's a character I don't know a lot about, and so, like, I'm more excited to see, another Avengers movie or another Guardians movie, characters that I'm invested into, whereas Black Panther, he was in Civil War for a little bit, but I don't really know him as a character yet. But he can redeem himself in Infinity
I
War.
think he did redeem himself.
I think that them introducing him when they did in Civil War, help me, Civil War, made it so that I felt invested before the movie started. I already saw his origin story happen, that few minute clip, and then watched him, kind of embrace being the Black Panther in a vengeful way, but then, like, choosing not to be vengeful. I already felt invested. So, I disagree with you there.
Yeah, but you put Spider-Man lower, so.
That's true.
Are we gonna be friends after this? Alright, 8?
8.
Did you both
Yep.
do your 9?
Ant-Man.
9?
Yep.
Oh, Ant-Man.
Ant-Man.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
8.
8 is Age of Ultron for me.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yep.
That's,
I really
That's
like Age of
heck
Ultron.
high.
And I've already defended it.
yeah.
But I really like Age of Ultron. Like I said, I like the banter with, Ultron and everyone else and stuff. I love where that's where the team is established, but then you're also, growing the team. That's where you get Vision, you know what I mean? Like that, I like that. I like Ultron.
I like Vision a lot.
I like Vision.
Every time we talk about a movie, I'm like, ooh, I want to watch that right now. And the higher we get, and I feel that way about Ultron. Maybe I misplaced it. I don't know.
You can't change your
I don't
list.
think so. I'm
It's
pretty certain.
definite.
I'm pretty certain about my list, but I really want to watch Ultron right now.
What's your 8?
My 8 is Guardians 1.
It's pretty low.
Oh, that is low.
It is a little low, but I mean, as you've pointed out, haven't said Cap yet. So
I already know what Cap is on your
so
list.
if we take Cap out
Spoilers,
completely,
it's top 3.
if we take Cap out completely, that's pretty high up there.
Guardians was my number one movie for a long time. Like before, like when Guardians first came out, it was my favorite MCU movie for a long time.
Guardians right now is still in my top 3, but it's not.
I think it's funny. It's a movie that again I knew nothing about, and I left the theater wanting to see it again.
Yeah.
That also kind of reflects on the kind of heroes that you guys like. Okay, so you guys are Batman people. You like the dark brooding, like I have a dark side kind of thing. I like patriotic, I'm gonna do good because I'm good.
That's
and
true.
because it's the right thing to do. I'm Superman and Captain America, so not even just patriotic United States, but like patriotic, like this is the right thing to do, so that's why I'm doing it. And the Guardians are kind of bad. Like so,
Well,
although
I mean, they're
like,
a group of
I know,
Right?
yeah, like anti-hero kind of
Yeah.
almost. I like it. I love the movie. It's pretty high on my list. I love the movie, but it doesn't reach the top just probably for that reason. Just because the kind of heroes I like are more, why should we save the galaxy? Because it's the right thing to do, not because I'm one of the idiots who live in it. You know, although that's hilarious.
It's the
But
truth.
that's just
I like
not
that
my.
they're all doing it for their own personal reasons, but by the end they're a team.
Yeah.
And I like how it's a team that shouldn't work,
Mhm.
but it does.
Yeah.
Like.
They make it work somehow.
And this is not a popular opinion, but you know everybody just like loves Groot. The second time I watched it through, I didn't love him as much. I felt like
Big Groot,
yeah, well all the Groots.
I love Groot.
Baby Groot.
Okay. Yeah, actually yes. He's mean. He's a vicious. Like the first thing we see him do is just beating people up with his trunk. He just happens to have a nice side. I like the nice side and the cute side, but he's mean. He like even when he's Baby Groot, he's like attacking those space rats, and he's like ah, you know. It's just cute.
It's
because
because they're all fighting.
Yeah.
I know, but
wants
he's
to,
mean
he
for
wants
the sake
to feel
of mean.
involved.
I
No,
know.
because in
That's what I'm
that
saying.
when they're in they're doing like mutiny and they're like hazing him.
Yeah,
that
they're
part,
dump-
that part's so
dump-
sad.
dumping beer
so
on
he,
him and-
he's justified when he ends up
Yeah,
throwing that guy
he's
over.
He's a product of his environment, but that's where you could see like you guys like the heroes of the bad side. I don't as much.
Okay, so my number 8 then is Winter Soldier, and I like Winter Soldier. I like it a lot. I like the story with Hydra. I think that's cool. I think that's cool also how that spilled into Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I really like. I just think it's a great movie. Awesome action. I like the friendship that develops between Cap and Black Widow in this movie. I mean, it's a good movie. I like it, but it's my number 8.
So number 7.
7.
My number 7 is Civil War. Yeah. I like Civil War. I like Civil War a lot. But there's just other ones that are better, in my opinion, than Civil War. And here's the other thing too. Okay, like Civil War, I was so close to just disowning Captain America. Like, how dare he? Like, don't get me started. But I just cannot get over the fact and that he is literally, him and Bucky are like ganging up on Iron Man when Bucky is the one that murdered his parents. Okay? Yeah. Like, seriously.
Like that.
And then Iron Man's in is like, I thought I was your friend, you know what I mean? And it's like, I get it, and I get how you were saying, like, they're like, oh, they're trying to stop him because he's gonna end up killing Bucky, and whatever, and he wasn't in his right state of mind, and this and that. But, like, if I was Captain, I like, you just have, when it comes to a man's parents, okay? You just can't cross that line. Especially when you guys are on a team.
Yeah.
Okay,
So, but I do like Civil War. Civil War is a great movie. I do have my things against it. And then when I think about it, I'm just like, you know what? How dare you?
it makes you feel passionate.
Yeah. And I think Iron Man's team in Civil War is way better than Captain America's team.
Okay.
He has vision, first of all.
And he is
But
Spider-Man.
Vision
and Spider-Man
Vision is wrong.
and Black Widow.
They're all wrong.
Like, I
No,
mean,
Black
Scarlet.
Widow doesn't really
I
know.
know Scarlet Witch is better than Black Widow, but like,
But Black Widow turns real
No,
quick.
Black Widow's not even on your team.
no, she ends up being on everyone's team.
She starts on Iron Man's
But she
team,
starts on
and
Iron
she
Man's
flips.
team. She even fights against Captain America's team. But in the end, she ends up choosing everybody's side. You know what I mean? Like, because she's like, at the end, like, she's not going to help Black Panther because he's new. Who's he? You know what I
Who's
mean?
he? Yeah.
Like, but...
Let's see. I like it when Hawkeye's like, we haven't met. I'm Clint, and Black Panther's like, I don't care.
Yeah, he's like, I don't care.
I don't care. I'm just here to fight.
Yeah.
I'll say mine when we get to it.
What's your number 7?
Guardians 2. Basically the same reason as Guardians 1, but it's better than Guardians 1.
Mine's Guardians 2 is one above Civil War for me.
Oh,
So it's pretty close to
man.
your number.
I love Guardians 2. I think it does everything Guardians 1 does, but better. I think, man, I love Guardians 2. All the characters know who their character is. Like, Drax is a better Drax. You know, Star-Lord's a better Star-Lord. I love Guardians 2. If I had to complain about Guardians 2, it would be Nebula. I don't like her. I didn't like her in Guardians 1 either.
I don't like her in Guardians 1, but I like her better in Guardians 2.
Her robot voice just kind of annoys me.
I like Guardians better than Guardians 2, mainly because there was a little too much story in the second one. You know what I mean? Like,
There were some cheesy story moments.
well, no, like, I like the cheesy story moments, but there was not enough action or not enough stuff going on throughout the movie that kept me up until the end. You know what I mean? Because I get it. They're explaining the story of his dad and all, you know, like they're creating the big picture and all, you know, kind of comes
But
to the
it's
climax
like-
in the end. But as far as like the first Guardians and the second Guardians, I would think it would be flip-flopped. You know what I mean? Like, I would think you would have more story on the first one and then, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the
But
story's
I think where another thing that puts Guardians 2 above Guardians 1 for me is Yondu. Guardians 1 don't even care about Yondu.
Yeah.
Guardians 2, all of a sudden you're tearing up at the end of the movie
Oh, I cried.
when Yondu's, dead.
Yeah.
Spoilers. But
tears fell.
but I mean, it's like to see that progression from no name dude in Guardians 1 to like a very main character in Guardians 2. It's like that just shows how much you've grown with these characters. That's what it definitely puts Guardians 2 above Guardians 1 for me.
I really like Yondu's relationship with Rocket. The way that they're kind of
Yeah.
discovering that they're both tough guys who aren't really tough.
Yeah.
You know, I like that a lot.
But see, for me, I would have thought that would be in the first one. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I would have
guess so.
thought that would be in the first one, and then the first one that has more action would have been. But that's it. That's just.
Don't be peeking at my list.
I'm not. Do you hear that?
Ethan's causing trouble.
No, I think they're hitting the ceiling on purpose. Do I have a text?
No.
You mean yes? Because I see that blue circle right there.
No, but nothing
Oh,
important.
okay. Alright, moving on. Edit that part out.
So number 7, right? Or did you do your number 8?
7 is Guardians 2.
Okay, so my 7 then.
Yeah.
Avengers. Avengers 1. I really, really like Avengers 1. I think, 4 years or something build up to it. I love seeing all the characters together for the first time. I love, the superhero moment when they all are in New York and the camera pans around them all. And I really, really like Avengers 1. It's an awesome movie. I mean, I saw it in the theater a few times. I own a couple copies of it. It's a great movie.
I have nothing bad to say about Avengers.
No.
I do like Avengers. I just feel it's so like.
And we got introduced to Thanos for half a second.
Yeah, like I liked it then,
But I mean,
but right now it's so vanilla. You know what I mean? Like right now it's like.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I think you got to think about that though, because you can't compare the old versus the fresh. You have to compare it when it was fresh to when this is fresh.
I mean,
How do you
when it
feel
was
about
fresh though, I had no clue who Thanos was. Like,
Right.
seeing it in the theater, people are cheering. I'm like, okay, who's this purple dude? Now, knowing what I know about Thanos, that moment was huge.
Right, which I do, but I mean, like, if after watching all the movies again, like, since January, like, Avengers is easily forgotten when I've watched all the other ones that I like better than Avengers. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, it...
It's driving me crazy.
Avengers is good for what it is, and it closing the first phase, you know what I mean? Like, it is good for what it is and all that stuff, but when I think about all the ones that come after and how the universe has grown, it's just, like, for me, that'd be like someone offering me vanilla ice cream over Oreo cookies and cream ice cream.
I think I would take that.
I would be like, I'll eat the vanilla. Yeah, I like vanilla, but I would prefer cookies and cream. You know what I mean?
One thing I've always appreciated about the Avengers movie is that when it reintroduces each character at the very beginning of the movie, it gives you them for a moment by themselves and then puts them next to another hero. Like, so it'll reintroduce you to where Iron Man is at with him, like, underwater putting things together or whatever. But then when it shows him again, it shows him either meeting or fighting against another hero for a second.
Well,
just to kind of, like...
He flies in and takes over the PA and when Cap and Loki are first fighting.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So, but they do that with each hero.
Yeah.
So they introduce them, and then the next time we see them again, it's side by side with another hero, kind of comparing powers. So it gives us an opportunity to realize that they're all on the same playing field, but also see them separately. And I really always appreciated that. So when I think about the Avengers, that's kind of where my mind goes, is like, this is what they're like compared to the other people. Like, this is where they stand. Kind of, that's where they established that for me. Is like,
but I think though, if you were brand new to it and just watched the Avengers, you wouldn't care about it as much because you don't know who Iron Man is, who Thor is, who Captain America is.
Every movie since then.
Yeah, but I'm not necessarily though, because you can go watch Spider-Man not knowing anything about anyone else, or
Okay,
Ant-Man,
I mean all the
or
Avengers movies.
even Doctor Strange. But it's like if you just wanted to watch Avengers and didn't watch any before it, you might not like it as much.
Yeah.
That's really bothering me.
Just ignore it. We're top five people.
I didn't say my 6.
You didn't?
Mm-mm. Thor
What's your
3.
6? Thor 3? Oh, Ragnarok?
Yeah.
What?
What?
He's not even in your top 5?
Number 6 is Ragnarok?
I'm
Yo.
sorry, you guys.
No way.
I love Ragnarok. I love it a lot. I love everything about it.
I just.
It's just Captain America is
Yes,
in it.
that is what I keep like.
That's what it is.
It's
How
not that
is-
Captain America's not in it. It's that when we watched it again, I didn't find new things. So eventually I'm going to get tired of watching it. But with the Captain America movies, every time I watch one of them, I always find something new. So I'm not getting tired of watching it because it's like I'm watching a new movie.
Man.
Like, oh, now that I realize that, I have to go watch it and see how that affects things. So it makes it rewatchable for years. But with Thor, I'll rewatch it, but I don't find as much each new time. It's just, it's funny and it's entertaining and it's adventurous and it's awesome, but eventually it's gonna be vanilla compared to the new,
I
Phase
actually think
13.
Ragnarok is cookies and cream compared to all the other ones.
Mm-hmm. I love Ragnarok.
Yeah,
Oh
me
my
too.
goodness. That is such a good movie.
It is.
I mean,
it is.
And,
It's
and
on the top of my
the
list.
fact that half of it is like improv, that is amazing.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely felt like Loki got his justice. As soon as Loki started appearing in movies, everybody's like, "Oh, Loki!" Woo! And I was like, "He's so lame, whatever." But this is the movie where I felt like I sympathized with him in backwards motion. Like I sympathized with him for the movies I didn't care about him in, and I'm glad that he got his moment to like know that his dad loved him and to be alongside his brother again by choice, and
Yeah, but
things like
but
that.
then
he got his moment.
he still takes the Tesseract at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but then even then, Thor's not like an oblivious little buffoon. Like he's like, you're the god of mischief, and that's what you are. But I mean, I wish you could be more, kind of thing. So he got his moment to be like, okay, this is who I choose to be. Not this is a position I was put in by you know, another planet telling me I could rule this planet if I work with them, or he's like always put in a position. He kind of puts himself there too. But this is the first time where I felt like he made the choice about who he was going to be, and he got shown what everybody thinks about him in a positive light, and he hadn't been up until then. He had only been the bad guy. Plus, he was hilarious. It was a good movie. I'm not meaning to diss other movies by putting, or diss the movie by putting it lower. It's just, it's in my top 6. It just happens to be number 6.
Okay, pause. I do have to leave in like 10 minutes.
All right,
I have to
almost
get to
there.
church by 6.
Okay.
All right, so we got top 5. We got to roll through this.
Yeah. Okay, well, number 5 for me is the second Guardian.
Guardians 2.
Yeah.
All right.
Guardians Volume 2. That's number 5 for me.
Okay.
My number 5 is Guardians 1.
Okay. So
I like it.
we all agree it's at the top.
Yeah. But mine's flip flop. Like, Guardians 2 is number 5.
Mm-hmm.
But Guardians 1 is a little bit more higher than.
It's somewhere up there.
Somewhere between 1 and 4.
My 5 is Avengers. Mostly just because of how important it is to everything else.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I said earlier, it establishes so much on, like, where they stand compared to each other. Yeah.
Number 4?
My number 4. Go ahead.
Oh, you can go.
My number 4, Spider-Man: Homecoming.
Me too.
Um,
Spider-Man Homecoming, number 4.
Such a good movie.
Yeah.
Captain
Heck
America.
a good movie.
Really?
Spider-Man:
Gee.
Homecoming above Captain America.
No.
Captain America above it.
way.
Yeah.
How?
I just
It
like
is
I might have already said it.
movie.
I love the movie. I love that it's the origin story for 3 characters for me. It's only 1 for you guys, so there's that. I mean 4 characters if you count Bucky, but it establishes a lot of things about like how what's his face? The guy who turns himself into a computer, which is weird. It makes him important for later. It makes Hydra important, which turns out to be a huge villain in like a lot of movies. It establishes a lot, and every time I watch it I find something new. Even in like facial expressions. Like one facial expression, it's like that he probably is feeling this because of his years of that, or you know, whatever. And that's how I feel about all the Cap movies. Like once they've gone through caught up with us in time, every time they do something it's like, oh, remember he was tortured for 70 years? You know, like there's so much that we don't see that we don't need to see because of the little moments that we do. You know what I mean?
I'd still watch Spider-Man.
No, yeah.
So
Alright.
that's why I find something new every time.
Number 3.
Number 3 is Black Panther for me. Yeah, I like Black Panther. I literally saw Black Panther like every other day in theaters. I think after the 4th time I was like, okay, too much. Like I can't watch it so much. But I loved it. Everything about it was super entertaining. Yeah, Black Panther himself is legit. Like, you know what I mean? Like he is just a cool hero. Like he's just cool to watch. All the action scenes were awesome. Like you said, the villain was really cool.
Villain
it
was
was
good.
really entertaining. I loved I mean, I'm not trying to go like, oh, feminism and all that stuff, but I loved the women in it, dude.
Oh yeah.
The women in that movie were freaking legit. Like, made me want to go be a part of Wakanda.
You should
Shave my
your
head.
and do it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I loved it. So number 3 is Black Panther for me.
Number 3.
Civil War.
So what is your number 1 then? What the
I
heck?
don't know what the heck.
Okay. Civil War.
Alright, was number 3?
Okay, my number 3 is
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I was saving this. So what you said about Civil War, about Cap being disowned. Okay, this is my time to
Oh,
God.
right.
I so much disagree. I understand that Tony is feeling some pain, but when you think about what they're trying to do, what Iron Man is trying to do is murder in response to murder. That has to be stopped. Even if he succeeds, he's not winning. He's gonna regret it because he's a murderer.
I get that, but even in like, because I get he's a hero. He can't do no wrong. You know, Captain America, oh, Mr. Pure Guy. You know what I mean? Like, he's the best. He could, you know what I mean? I get it, but like even in the end, when he's walking away, you know, and Tony's like, that shield doesn't belong to you. Like my dad, you know. He legit picks up Bucky, okay, and just turns his back on Iron Man and walks away. Doesn't even,
And
like...
basically
he
left
has
him there
to.
to die.
No, because, okay.
Because if he stays, he's gonna be arrested and go to prison. He has to go save his friends who are doing the right thing.
But he has no problem going and breaking out the rest of his friends. But Tony, who's been there since day one, he left him there to die.
Yeah, he just walks away and like drops his shield, walks away, helps Bucky up. Like Iron Man isn't over here dying. You know what I mean?
He's not dying.
Helps-
His suit's broken.
That his suit is the little.
Oh.
Look, they're getting angry too.
No, the suit is not part of him anymore. They
That's
established
true.
that already.
But
So it's literally his suit's broken and he has some messed up stuff up on his face. That's it. Like, and he's tired, but like he'll be fine. He broke an arm. I just remembered that.
I just think he crossed.
He's not dying though. He's hurt, but his goal was to murder in response to murder, and he needed to be stopped. All they were trying to do, all their goal is to stop him, and they had to fight harder because he was fighting harder. So, there's that.
we're running low on time.
I'm upset about this.
They crossed the friendship line.
Okay, so that's my number 3. Number 2.
My number 3 is Ragnarok. I love Ragnarok. By far the best Thor movie.
Oh yeah.
Thor, I mean, it's hilarious. I said it earlier, but the fact that so much of this movie was just improv, like, it's hilarious. So funny. Even, there's so many great scenes when he's jumping out of the plane, he's like, oh, you're gonna see who I am, and then just hits the ground, or when they're fighting, and he's like, oh, he's a friend from... There are so many hecka funny scenes in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
But, number 2.
Black Panther.
Guardians, the first Guardians, is number 2 for me.
Guardians 2 for me.
Okay.
Guardians 2 was almost my number 1.
Yeah.
But Black Panther
Yeah.
and Guardians 1.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, I guess that, I mean, we've said just about everything, but
Yeah. We
number
through those.
number 1.
Well, it's all that's left. Winter Soldier.
Ugh.
Ugh.
I love that movie. I can, if I had to walk up to the movies and just pick one movie, that's most of the time what I'm gonna choose. Most of the time I watch Netflix. I don't watch movies, but when I do, it's that movie.
My number 1 is Thor Ragnarok. Like,
Really?
yes, Guardians was my top, like, you know what I mean? Like, I loved it, best Marvel movie, until Thor Ragnarok came out. And Thor Ragnarok, I felt was, like, met the comedy level of Guardians, and was better. Like, the villain was cool, the storyline was cool, like, obviously it's the best Thor. The rock guy, I forget his name every time. Korg. Hi, I'm Korg. Yeah, like, he is just
gonna start a revolution.
I love Loki and Thor together. Like, you know, I love Hulk in that movie. He has a personality. He's not just some raging monster. Like,
He does have
I
personality.
very much appreciated the way that they did Hulk in that movie.
Yeah.
And like I said, up until Avengers 1, I had no appreciation for the Hulk as a character ever. Like, he was just mad. Didn't matter to me at all. Like, I don't see a hero or a villain. He's just a dude. And he happens to get in the way a lot. But in this movie, it was the first time that I felt like I understood the switch off between him and Banner, and I understood, like, Hulk as a person, you know, that he's not mad, he's just strong and has some rage, no big deal. You know, like, I felt like I just got him more. I really appreciated that.
So, of course, my camera dies right when I'm about to get my number 1. Whatever, no big deal. But Dina had to take off, so Kylo Ren is filling in for us. But Dina, thanks for hanging out with us today. Totally awesome. Kylo Ren, what's your number 1?
Whatever Jade said.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. So, my number 1, of course, Captain America Civil War. This movie, might as well call it Avengers 2.5, but this movie, such a good movie. Just the airport scene alone when they're fighting each other. I mean, these heroes that we've come to know and love for years now, duking it out with each other. There's nothing better than that. I think Kylo Ren agrees. Yeah, Kylo Ren agrees. Civil War, my number 1 movie. I mean, I could talk about it for a long time, but we get the introduction of Spider-Man. We get the introduction of Black Panther. We get, you know, Falcon and Winter Soldier, their little, you know, always button heads trying to be Cap's best friend. You know, we get the realization that Bucky killed Tony Stark's parents. You know, we get all these things that are connected. Even like when Black Widow and Hawkeye are fighting, they're still friends. They're fighting each other, but they're still friends. And of course, we get Giant Man. When he had so many funny scenes, like when Vision flies through him and he's like, someone's inside me. There's a heck of funny scenes. So my number one, Civil War. That does it, guys. We are through 18 movies in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What's your number one? What's your top 5? Let me know in the comments. Let me know. Do you agree? Do you disagree? So we're just a few days out from Infinity War. All of them are... Oh, even Thanos died. Even Thanos died there. So Thanos is going to come and kill them all. But in just a few days, guys, cannot wait. As always, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. You know, thank you so much for watching. And I'll, as always, keep it classy, people.